You've been writing prompts for months now, maybe longer. And the output is fine, technically correct, often impressive even. But there is a word people keep using when they describe what AI writes for them: generic. Not wrong, not bad, just not them. It could have been written by anyone, for anyone. And when your audience reads it, something is off. They can't always say what. Here is what nobody is saying loudly enough. That is not an AI problem. That is a prompt problem. Research published in PNAS in 2023 found that people are barely better than chance at detecting AI written text. They identify it correctly only about 50 to 52% of the time. Generic AI writing doesn't get caught. It just fails to land. And the fix is not a better tool. It is telling the AI who you are. By the end of this episode, you will have a reusable voice brief, a document you paste at the start of any writing session that makes every AI output sound like you wrote it. No paid tools, no subscriptions, just a one-time setup and a better workflow. Let's build it. Here is the actual reason AI writing sounds like AI writing. When you open a chat window and type, "Write me a LinkedIn post," the model has nothing to anchor to except the prompt itself. It produces the statistically most likely version of that post, the median, the average. That is not a flaw. That is exactly what it is designed to do when given no context. The fix is not a better tool. It is a richer prompt. Specifically, one that tells the model who you are, how you write, what you would never say, and what makes your communication recognizably yours. The voice brief is that missing context. Think of it as a style sheet for a human being. 2 to 3 paragraphs that capture tone, vocabulary, sentence rhythm, topics you care about, and things you would never write. Once it exists, you paste it at the top of any writing session. The output changes immediately. Here is how to build one. The voice capture method starts with examples, not descriptions, examples. Most people try to describe their voice. I'm professional but approachable, direct. Sometimes I use humor. That gives AI almost nothing to work with. Those adjectives describe half the internet. Instead, gather 3 to 5 pieces of writing that you feel genuinely represent you. Email threads, LinkedIn posts that got strong responses, a section of a proposal you are proud of. Then run a voice extraction prompt. You ask the AI to identify your tone, sentence structure patterns, vocabulary tendencies, themes you return to, and phrases that are distinctly yours. What comes back is a first draft of your voice as seen from the outside. Read it critically. It will be partially wrong. That is expected. Your job in the next step is to edit it into something true. Take the voice profile, open a Google Doc, title it Voice Brief, your name. Now edit it until it passes one test. If you handed it to someone who had never read your writing, would they be able to write something that sounds like you? If not, it needs more specificity. A functional voice brief has 4 sections: tone, the overall energy and register; sentence structure, your rhythm and paragraph habits; vocabulary, words you use often and words you never use; and signature patterns, anything specific to how you open, close, or handle particular situations. Once the document is built, add one line at the top. Write in the voice described below. Do not use generic AI phrasing. Match tone, sentence length, and word choices exactly. That instruction, combined with the brief, is your whole system. A voice brief that has never been tested is just a hypothesis. Test it across 3 content types because voice expresses differently depending on format. Email. Ask for a follow-up after a sales call. Mark every sentence that sounds off. Those flagged phrases tell you what to add to the brief. LinkedIn post. Ask for a post about a recent business lesson. This is where generic AI writing is most obvious. the inspirational opener, the numbered list, the thoughts at the end. If any of that appears, you need stronger never use instructions. Video script section. Ask for a 90-second intro. This is the hardest test. If it reads naturally out loud, the brief is working. Here's the thing nobody wants to say out loud. Most people skip voice calibration entirely. They paste a prompt, get output, feel vaguely disappointed, and blame the tool. The real problem is that they treated AI like a ghostwriter who already knew them. Your voice brief is what changes that equation. It is the one piece of setup that makes every future writing session faster and better. Here is the part some people skip, and it costs them. The voice brief is not a set and forget document. Your voice changes. You get more confident. You shift markets. You stop saying things that used to define you. A brief built in January may produce slightly off output by October. Not wrong, just slightly behind who you are now. Schedule a quarterly review, 20 minutes. Rerun the voice extraction prompt on recent writing you feel good about. Diff the output against your existing brief. Update what has shifted. This is not overhead. It is the difference between a system that stays sharp and one that quietly goes stale. If your AI writing starts feeling generic again, and you have not touched your brief in 6 months, that is the reason. 3 phases, 1 underlying fix. AI sounds generic when you give it no identity to write from. The voice brief solves that. You extract it from your own writing, build it in a document you already have, and paste it at the start of any session where you want output that sounds like you. Voice capture, voice brief, testing and refinement, quarterly maintenance. That's the system. Your one action today? Open a Google Doc, gather 3 pieces of writing you are proud of, and paste the voice extraction prompt. Read what comes back. That's it. 1 session, 20 minutes. The brief comes after. The testing comes after. But none of it happens until you run the first extraction. Subscribe if you have not. Share this with someone who keeps saying their AI output feels flat. And leave a comment with the phrase that comes out of your voice extraction that surprises you most. See you next episode.